I think we tend to get caught up in the things in games that matter. Think progression, think level ups, beating the game perhaps. This causes us to overlook the things that don't matter, like hats. This run's about hats. As of version 1.5, Stardew Valley has 93 hats strewn across the game, with surprisingly diverse methods of obtaining them all, such as getting all of the achievements, obtaining random items, and getting lucky. We're going to have a time limit of 100 days to collect as many hats as we can. To make it simpler for myself, I've separated the hats into 5 different categories. First are achievements, with 32 hats. These hats have 2 parts. First, you need to unlock the achievement. These are in-game achievements only. Achievements that are just on Steam or PlayStation, for example, don't count. Luckily, this ends up excluding things like Full House or Fector's Challenge. Getting the achievement unlocks that hat for purchase at the Hat Mouse for 1,000 gold each, a pretty hefty price, especially for early game. Next, we have tailored hats. These are obtained by combining specific items with cloth at a tailoring station. And those specific items can include anything as easy as an acorn to incredibly late game items like radioactive ore, so we'll be chasing them through the whole playthrough. In addition, we will need a consistent source of cloth. Next are RNG drops. Simply enough, any hats in this category are obtained by a random drop either from enemies, fiber, trash, you name it. Notable hats in this category are the 3 cowboy hats, all hidden behind a 1 in 26 chance from skull cavern chests, and the elusive living hat, a 1 in 100,000 chance from fiber. Next, there are 10 hats sold from shops, sometimes for money, other times for items. These can range from the decent challenge of getting 30 terror roots, and the incalculable task of getting 333 Omni Geodes. Twice. The last section is miscellaneous, with 10 hats in this category as well. Anything that didn't fit in the other sections go here. This includes Slayer goal hats, rewards from festivals, and a couple of others. If you want to see all the specifics, I'll link the spreadsheet I used to track my progress in the description. Yes, I created it myself. Hovering over a hat shows the method of obtaining it, and you can make a copy of this list if you want to try the hat challenge yourself. You'll also see that they're split into rarities, mostly just for fun. Generally, if the hat is around Ginger Island levels of progression, it's upgraded to rare, and if it's around Walnut Room levels of progression, it's legendary. And then there's 2 mythic hats that essentially require perfection. Now, I am under no impression that I'm going to get everything. My goal is actually to get 70 unique hats, which would be a passing grade in the American schooling system. Without further ado, let's get started. The only important thing to point out in file creation is that I've enabled monster spawns on the farm, and we'll be playing on the wilderness farm since that feels appropriate. Day 1 begins. While we do the usual day 1 farm clearing and setup, let me explain why we're on version 1.5. There's 3 main reasons. Number 1, the vast majority of the new hats added in 1.6 are nearly unobtainable in year 1, so it wouldn't affect the run too much anyways. Number 2, the increased prices at the Hat Mouse are criminal. Some prices were increased by 25 times. And 3, I started this run before 1.6 came out. That's really the main reason. This first week, I'm staying very focused on one goal: making money to complete the Joja Mart bundles. The sooner we do that, the more efficiently we can start working towards other goals. So day 1 sees us running around, foraging, and getting enough wood for a couple of chests, as well as cutting pretty much every fiber that I see for the chance at the living hat. Day 2 unlocks the fishing rod, so we rotate to using that for the entire day for days 2, 3, and 4. Why is fishing so important? Well, we do need to catch all of the fish to complete an achievement, so I'm making sure I catch a good spread of fish, causing us to earn the Fisherman achievement on day 3 for catching 10 unique fish. Remember, we don't get the hat yet, we still need to spend 1,000 gold at the Hat Mouse, which isn't happening this early on. Catching all fish also means that I'm trying to hit level 10 fishing before leaving spring so that I can catch the legend. Yep, it's one of those types of runs. But other than that, this is one of the best ways to earn money this early on, most of which I'm spending on salad so that I can absolutely blitz the mines once it's open. Now this isn't to say I did absolutely nothing else. While I'm walking around from fishing spot to fishing spot, I'm making sure to check trash cans for the garbage hat, talking to people as I see them, and checking the help wanted quests. One of the achievements is completing 40 of those quests, which is a tight squeeze for a run of this length. But yeah, mostly just fishing. By the night of day 4, I've reached level 5 fishing, where I choose the fisher profession that increases the sale price of all fish I've been saving. Now I'll sell some of them for money, but I want to save most of them for the angler profession buff. Day 5 is the day the mines open up, so we head straight over there. This is a good time to mention that I'm allowing myself to use animation canceling, which speeds this up quite a bit. Any other exploits like clay farming or chair skipping, I'm not allowing. I used the starting parsnips for food until I reach floor 10, where I can leave and go buy some salads from the saloon. Instead of wasting them immediately to head back into the mines, I spend the rest of the day fishing, which is when I break the 100 fish caught to earn the Mother Catch achievement. That's 2 hats waiting for us at the Hat Mouse once we have the money. Day 6 sees us earning the furnace recipe, which we craft immediately, get to work, and head back into the mines. With the help of our salads, we push to floor 30 before once again swapping to fishing. I'm really trying to conserve our salads here. This early on, we really have to take advantage of the full energy refills we get from leveling up overnight. Then day 7, with a fresh energy bar, we head to the mines once again, finally pushing to the ice floors of the mines. I push a little farther to floor 45 to grab some iron ore for making bars, but there's very little reason for us to push any farther before upgrading our pickaxe. It's incredibly slow. And then we do a little more fishing to finish off the week. Starting week 2, we're using stream footage, so I hope you like looking at that. On day 8, instead of going to the mines, we once again turn our focus to fishing. We also finally opened the community center. While this is a Joja run, we do at least need to do this to be able to buy the Joja membership. And I sell just enough fish to get my pickaxe upgrading. I fished the day away, reaching level 6 fishing that night. I probably should have done it yesterday, but I read the Junimo language so that I can get the letter from the wizard tomorrow. Even though I decided that this will be a Joja run, I do want to grab a few of the rewards from the bundles before we lock it in. Today marks the first Help Wanted quest I was able to complete. Early on is rough while we don't have access to most of the items in the game, so hopefully the rate of completing these will increase in the future. We have 2 achievements to get from them, one for 10 Help Wanted quests and one for 40. I also used the money we earned from fishing yesterday to grab the first backpack upgrade. The second upgrade won't be needed for a while, but this first one is nearly essential. Since this is 1.5, I'm giving Caroline gifts so that we can rush getting the tea sapling recipe. Gotta make use of it before it gets nerfed. Once again, we fished until the end of the day, this time reaching level 7. And the fish we sold that night hit our first of 5 money-based achievements. We'll be getting most of these naturally, but a couple we'll have to push for. And we got our cat. I gotta address the allegations. Yes, this run has no mods, but that always comes with the exception of this little lad here. This is the only XNB mod that I've ever installed, which literally changes the orange cat file into the Alolan Vulpix file. I'm not even running Smappy right now. The Vulpix stays. We head down to the wizard to learn the language of the Junimos, and we head down to the Hat Mouse and buy our very first hat. The good old cap is the achievement for earning 15,000 gold. Now, I know what you're thinking. Day 10, 1 hat. Not looking good. Like I said earlier though, once we get our basic progression out of the way, like completing the Joja Mart membership form, hats will essentially start spawning right in front of us, so no worries. Anyways, I will be wearing whatever the newest acquired hat is. It just feels right, no matter how ugly it may be. It's Vincent's birthday and I just gave him a daffodil. It's really all we have for him. We have missed a couple of birthdays up to this point, but it's no big deal. And with our newly increased inventory size, I can start doling out all of the items we've collected for the museum. There's 2 hats to be gained here, one for donating 40 items and another for completion. After grabbing our upgraded pickaxe and popping open all of the geodes we've collected, we're at 14 items donated. Not too shabby. And then I donate the 4 spring forgeables to the community center, unlocking the pantry and fish bundles. The end goal here is to get to those vault bundles, and also hopefully completing the boiler room bundles, saving us a little bit of money in the long run. With our trusty upgraded pickaxe, it's back to the mines. I do still have an issue though. Our best weapon at this point is the steel smallsword, which is really bad. And I was going to go and buy a better one from the guild, but I can't get in. Turns out I didn't complete the guild quest, but I've been slaying slimes this whole time. Turns out the quest only counts green slimes, and since I got through the first 40 floors so quickly, I never actually finished the quest. So I spend the rest of the day completing it and working on the bug slayer goal for the insect head weapon. Caroline is the receiver of our second Help Wanted quest, just a herring that we've been saving. And with no infested floor blocking our way this time, we can work deeper into the frozen mines. On floor 60, we got the crystal dagger, which easily beats out our steel smallsword, and we find a magnet ring from a crate on the very next floor. Doesn't really affect the run too much, but have y'all played without having any magnetism buffs in a while? Like, it's awful. From floor 50, we were able to work down to floor 70, earning us the Master Slingshot. You could probably guess that we start the next day pushing down to our original goal of floor 80, where we get the Firewalker boots. So why was that our goal? I'm actually taking one specific strategy from those crazy min-max runs that earn like 80 million gold in year 1, where they simply make as many gold bars as they can to kickstart the run. And while I'm doing all of this quite a bit slower than your average min-maxer, it should still be effective. This is going to be the main method by which we pay off the Joja membership form. So I'll be grinding gold ore on floor 81. As an added bonus, fiber spawns on these floors too, giving us more chances for the living hat. After this first day of grinding, I've collected 12 gold bars worth of ore, and we hit level 4 mining that night. Level 5 is an important milestone to hit since it'll allow us to get extra ore with the miner profession. And level 10 is also important for increasing the sell price of gold bars with the blacksmith profession. Yet another level 10 to work towards. We'll be at this grind for quite a while. While we're at it, I'm making sure to slay any helmet heads we see, as bad as our weapon may be. They're the only enemy in the mines that straight up drops a hat. It's a 1 in 100 chance, but you're guaranteed to get it before 100 kills, so it's not too bad. We managed to collect 24 gold bars worth of ore before having to head out for the egg hunt, which cuts off at 2 p.m. We're not here for strawberries for once. Instead, I'm making sure to talk to everyone for the small boost of friendship it gives, and I'm here for the egg hunt itself. I win soundly with 12 eggs, awarding us the second hat of the run, the straw hat. Almost every festival has one or more hats for us to grab, so we'll be attending all of them. I spend the last few hours after the festival just foraging. Luckily, I did get level 5 mining that night, so we can take advantage of the extra ore. So as the first day of week 3, at least as far as gifts go, today will be our first dedicated gift giving day. You may be wondering how far we have to go in regards to building relationships. It's pretty important. There's a whopping 6 achievements tied to it, plus an extra hat from marriage. Luckily, we don't have to max everyone out. For the hardest achievements, we need to get 20 people to 5 hearts and 8 people to 10 hearts. In addition, Emily gives us a hat from our 14 heart cutscene, so she'll be the marriage candidate for this run. So you probably think I have a detailed list of everyone that I plan to get up to 10 hearts. Well, no. I'll just let it all happen naturally, and whoever ends up getting a lot of hearts, I'll start to focus on them more. This is naturally going to write off characters like Elliot or the Wizard, who are shut-ins, and good candidates will be the ones that are consistently visiting the saloon every week for easy gifting. Also, it's Haley's birthday, so I make sure to give her a daffodil. Today, I buy the Iridium Rod. It's a necessary expense. There's no way I'm catching the legend without it, and the earlier I can use bait and tackle, the faster I'll hit level 10 fishing. I finish out the day taking that baby for a test drive and letting ourselves pass out at the end of the night. So at this point, I've got 2 main activities for progression, fishing and mining. I'm letting the daily luck decide on my activities for the day, as more daily luck means more ore nodes, but it doesn't have too much of an effect on fishing. It's a bad luck day, so we fish. Plus it's raining, so the catfish will give us more money and experience. Since we're in town anyway, I also give gifts to anyone it's convenient for. Here's our progression on the fishing lists, by the way. All spring-specific fish are accounted for, other than the legend. Level 8 fishing for our efforts. So remember when I said I'll need a source of cloth eventually? My first thought was to throw all of the soggy newspapers that we've gotten from fishing into a recycling machine for the 10% chance of cloth. But it just doesn't work. We don't get nearly enough soggy newspapers to put that chance to good use. There's a help wanted quest to find 30 copper ores, and even though it's a little bit out of the way, I knock it out. Once Clint is open, I grab my upgraded copper axe and start cutting down tons of trees for wood, while grabbing salmon berries from the bushes. I use all of this wood, hardwood, and stone I've gathered to complete the construction bundle, which then opens up the boiler room bundles. Here, I already have absolutely everything I need to complete all of the bundles except for 1 earth crystal, which I go back and grab real quick, and then the boiler room is done. This leaves the rest of the community center open, of which we're only interested in the vault. Later though, we're poor. I finished the day with some casual fishing. We got level 3 foraging, which I mentioned because we will need that tapper later. We've now earned 25,000 gold, so Demetrius comes to make us choose which farm cave we want. I don't think this decision will really matter that much, but I grabbed the mushroom cave, again taking advantage of it before it's nerfed in 1.6. We've got another rainy day. We've already had like 6, so I'm a little worried we won't be getting any later on in the month. I'm still trying to go for level 10 fishing. Yep, that was the whole day. I didn't even get a level up. Wednesday sees us getting back to the gold ore grind for the first time since we got the miner profession. Took a break midway through to donate some of the stuff clogging up my inventory, including an ancient seed. I swear it's only when you don't need it. And after popping open our geodes, except for the omni geodes this time, we're gonna save those for the hat trade, we have another 14 items to donate. It is Pam's birthday. She's a historically easy character to max out, so we load her up on parsnips. And then I take advantage of this. Whoa, what was that face for? Nothing happened. Gay Pam real? Oh. Anyways, I took advantage of the bubble spot and finished our day fishing with a pretty decent treasure chest partway through. I hit level 9 fishing, which makes level 10 feel close, but in reality we're only 2/3 of the way there. It's a great luck day, a good sign to stay in the mines. I did happen to get one cloth yesterday from recycling soggy newspapers, so Emily opens up her tailoring machine to us, an incredibly important unlock for this run. I thought I'd go ahead and attempt to push down a little bit today, just to floor 90. It's not as efficient for getting gold ore, but we do have to go down to the bottom eventually. Getting to floor 90 gives me the obsidian edge, which is miles better than our crystal dagger. And then it's back to grinding for gold ore, this time with a good weapon. Since it's Friday, I went to the saloon to give gifts to everyone there. This is the largest consistent gathering in the game, so when it comes to getting a lot of friendship with a lot of people fast, this will be the strat. I went back to the mines to squeeze just a little more gold and found this. Oh my god! Easy. That's the 1 in 100 chance we were looking for. Not too bad. I also found probably the most gold stuffed floor I've ever found in over 2,000 hours of playing this game. Unfortunately, since I'm getting so lucky with ore, I seem to have a coal deficit. So what I do is post up fishing with a charcoal machine next to me, carrying all of the wood I have and just refilling it as it runs out. Peak efficiency. The 20th is Shane's birthday, another character that's pretty easy to max out. I mean, you always know where to find him. Saturdays is also another good day to come to the saloon. It's not as packed as Friday, but 8 people is still pretty good. We got 18 coal out of that little adventure. I am once again fishing. I only have a little more than a week to get the legend, and at that point it comes down to if I get another rainy day. I also checked the price of the barn today. It's pretty clear to me that we'll have to go with sheep if we want to get a consistent source of cloth. Price isn't a problem, but we will need to grind some more wood. I hit 2 hearts with Caroline today, which means the tea sapling recipe isn't too far away. No level 10 fishing yet. Relationship check. Pam's looking like she'll be the first person to 5 hearts, with a couple of people close behind her. Mostly everyone who I've given a gift to on their birthday. I've got a help wanted quest to slay 5 rock crabs, and this is where the challenge of 40 help wanted quests really starts to show. That's a huge time investment. Crabs are really rare. So I choose to skip the quest to further train fishing. This type of choice where we need to figure out where to allocate our time between certain tasks is going to be really common later on in the run, when we have like 10 different tasks we could do to get 10 different hats. Which hats will we have the best chance to get? Which takes the least amount of time? All things we'll have to consider. With 2 hearts with Caroline, we get the cutscene in her greenhouse, giving us the recipe for tea saplings tomorrow in the mail. I'd also like to get that barn going tomorrow, so I spend the rest of the day grinding for the wood I'll need. And finally, I hit level 10 fishing, giving us both the ability to catch the legend and the final buff to the sale price of fish. Look at this chest of all of the fish I've saved. This is gonna be good. And I got the tea sapling recipe. First things first, I have the materials to make 25 tea saplings. I sell them all. I sell just enough fish directly to Willie to get 6,000 gold for the barn. The rest I'm going to ship just to see that huge number overnight. I'm also being careful to not sell fish that sell for less than 75 gold. They'll be better off turned into sashimi later down the line. Now it is a Tuesday, so I had to use that trick where you can catch Robin as she walks by her shop heading back to bed, and I got her to build us a barn. Here it is. 47,000 gold. That alone is enough to cover the entire vault bundle. Nice. That also got us the next of the money achievements for earning 50,000 gold. Not going to the Hat Mouse to collect those hats just yet. We'll do that after we get the Joja membership filled out. Today sees the invention of the white chest. This is where we're going to hold any items that will eventually be tailored into hats. This is pretty important. Remember, it gives us 30 of the possible hats we can grab. As you can see here, I did have a physical list I was using to mark off any items that we found. People underestimate a good written list nowadays. I found that out when I made made the list for items I needed for cooking in another video. Let me live. As of now, we just have 2 items. I wasted our time getting some gold ore until the flower dance started, but I cut it just a little too late to make it. That's fine. I didn't focus on Shane or Haley enough to get to 4 hearts, so we're not really missing anything. Instead, I go and complete all of the vault bundles. We get a crystallarium, lightning rod, fertilizer, and chocolate cake for our troubles. And we do actually need that chocolate cake for tailoring. I split the rest of the day between grinding for coal and gold ore. Even with the boiler and vault rooms done, we'll still need a total of 85,000 gold for the Joja membership form. There's that buzz repair. Not really much for us to do in the desert for now. I'm immediately starting the Joja farm. It takes 5,000 gold to sign up, and you can't do anything on the rest of the farm until the next day, so I'm getting it out of the way now. More gold. I'm not even gonna say anything else about it at this point, you know. I haven't spent too much nighttime on the farm, but we do have these wilderness golems. They're the main reason I turned monsters on, since they have a 1 in 10,000 chance for the living hat, 10 times higher than fiber. It's not much, but every chance counts. More gold. I completed a help wanted quest for Abigail. She just wanted a parsnip, literally the only crop we've grown up to this point. Yep, that's it. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I just went for gold ore for the rest of spring. Yeah, I take small breaks to give gifts and try the trash cans. I was kinda hoping to get the Joja form done before spring ended, but it looks like we'll just barely miss it. After the grind on day 27, we earned level 9 mining, but the final day of spring was pretty lively. Oh my god. Don't lose the gold, don't lose the gold, don't lose the gold, don't lose the gold. If I lose the gold, I'm restarting the run. I'm restarting the day. I'm telling you this right now. Now, right now. That's crazy. Yeah, so I did restart that day. That's my 1 restart allowed in the run. Hold me to it. So here's our final moments of spring. You are going to see a pretty crazy amount of gold ore down there. That's pretty much exactly how much we needed to pay off all of the Joja bundles. We still need to hit level 10 mining so that we can sell those bars for max price. But that'll happen before we have all of this smelted anyway. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get the chance to catch the legend. It didn't rain for the entire last week of spring, which is rough. Not all hope is lost though. If we can manage to get into the walnut room early enough, magic bait will give us another chance to get it. That will be a while from now. Now that we have all the gold we need, it's now a rush to gather coal, get everything smelted, and accomplish as much as we can in the meantime. I set up some furnaces at the entrance of the mines while I worked towards reaching the bottom. By 5:30, we made it, earning us the skeleton key so that we can access the skull cavern in the desert. I still haven't hit level 10 mining, so I spend the rest of the day mining even more gold ore to try and hit it. Unfortunately, not there yet. One final day to try and push into level 10 mining. I'm doing a mix of gold ore nodes and hunting dust sprites for coal. And at 4 p.m., we finally hit it. I am done with these mines for now. For getting the coal we need, I'm going to shift to cutting down trees and using charcoal kilns. 1, because it's faster, and 2, I want to stay away from the mines. And of course, we will be taking the blacksmith profession. The spa area has opened up, giving us more places to deforest. And I found this prehistoric tibia. Now this is one of the items I need 2 of, 1 to donate to the museum and another to tailor into a hat. I decided I'm keeping this one for tailoring as that guarantees me an entire hat, whereas if I donate it, I only get an extra hat if I also complete the rest of the museum. Priorities. Speaking of the museum, it's time for another donation bunch. While popping open geodes, I get a dwarf gadget, which once again, I also need for tailoring. The difference this time is that the hat it makes can also be made from the dwarf helm. I trust that I'll eventually find another, so I go ahead and donate it. This set of donations earned us the treasure trove achievement, meaning we've donated 40 items. Yet another hat waiting at the hat mouse. In the midst of all this donating, I went ahead and sold all of the gold bars we currently have, which is 124 to Clint, earning us around 45,000 gold. Enough for us to grab the greenhouse from the Joja bundles. Again, I can only unlock 1 a day, so I'm making sure to get them as soon as possible. At the desert, I grabbed the beet seeds we'll need to eventually complete the casino questline, and some starfruit for funsies. I do now have 2 cloth plus a couple of items I can tailor, so I grab the prehistoric tibia and chocolate cake and tailor them into hats. There's going to be a lot of instances like this where I get multiple hats at once, and I usually let the chat vote on which one they want me to wear. And this time, it was the hairbone. I spent the rest of our day giving out some gifts. I hit level 5 foraging, and I think for the first time ever, I'm choosing forester. Not only do I need wood for charcoal, but this will also increase the amount of hardwood I get, and the boat quest to get to Ginger Island is soon approaching. Haircut. Now that the greenhouse is built, we get garden pots. I plant 10 beets in the greenhouse. No rush though, we can't complete the casino quest until we get a thunderstorm for batteries. I go to Clint to upgrade the steel axe, important for accessing the secret woods. For that hardwood grind we'll have to do soon. And I head to Joja Mart afterwards to unlock panning, leaving just one form left. With the new season comes new fish that we need to catch. Specifically, I do need a sturgeon, as caviar is one of the items we need for tailoring. It's also a good fish to use during the luau. Other than that, we're still tending to our furnaces, but hopefully not for too much longer. That night we see Joja clearing the glittering boulder. I got 12,000 gold from selling that night, so the question is, can I make the rest that I need to buy the last bundle today? I'll need 12,000 more on top of what I already have. I didn't realize it at the moment, but getting the copper pan does mean that I have collected another hat. First thing I do, I'm moving the greenhouse to a more convenient spot. Then I do the classic farm dust sprites while furnaces cook at the entrance of the mines. I had to accept that I just wouldn't make enough money during the day. Clint closes at 4 p.m, so after that it really doesn't matter how much we do if we can't sell our bars. Eventually I had enough coal, so I swap over to slaying skeletons. Their slayer goal is one of the few that earns us a hat. I don't finish the slayer quest that night, but we make some good progress. So the question is, did I make enough overnight? Yeah, that'll do it. The steel axe is ready, and knowing that I'm going to need hardwood to get to Ginger Island, I get to work. I got 88 hardwood from this first day of grinding. I'm pretty much going to be going to the secret woods every single day from now on. I didn't forget to go to Joja Mart, they're open late, and we complete the last of the form. And it's Saturday, so I head to the saloon and give out some gifts. This is our progress, by the way. Heavy focus on Emily and Pam, but the others will catch up eventually. Since I had to continue grinding for gold ore to reach level 10 mining, I have a ton of it left over. I'm just gonna continue smelting all of it because it's really just free money at this point. Created my first tapper and tapped a pine tree. This is only because I need one of any tapper product for tailoring. And we see the bridge to the quarry built that night. So that's it. Phase 1 of the run is done. Although we still need to get all of the materials for the boat, I'd say a day 6 of summer completion of the bundles isn't too shabby. Definitely the earliest I've ever done it. I'm heading into Robin's to upgrade our house. There's several reasons we need to do this. For cooking, to get married, but also because the first 2 house upgrades are both achievements. Now that we have the freedom to use our money on whatever we want, I grab a rare seed from the traveling cart. I found a rainbow shell for the casino quest, and finally I spent 300 wood to repair the bridge, so that I could finally go catch the crimson fish. I did not end up getting it. I'll have to come back more prepared. Got our first thunderstorm the next day. Unfortunately, we don't have the lightning rod recipe yet, so it'll only yield 1 battery. We're gonna need 5 for the boat, so foraging level ups are gonna be a priority. It is a new week, so I'm giving out some gifts, and I spend some time fishing for the summer rainfish, and complete a help wanted quest for Sandy in the process. I spend a good portion of our time today preparing for an eventual skull cavern dive, getting bombs, good food buffs, the works. Iridium bars are the 3rd item I need to repair the boat, so we've gotta go soon. I did hit level 6 foraging, giving us the lightning rod recipe. Just a day too late though. Well, that's 1 battery. We need some iron bars for the lightning rod, so I spend most of the day working towards that. So I have all of that money now. Time to spend some of it at the Hat Mouse. I bought 3 hats. The daisy, the butterfly bow, and the lucky bow. And the daisy won the poll to be worn. I will swap to the other 2 over the next few days though. I set up 8 more lightning rods, so the next thunderstorm that comes around should finish us off. Our house upgrade is finished, giving us the moving up achievement. Our beets are finished growing, so we could finish the casino quest now, but I want to save the 1 battery we have just in case. Today marks our first dive into the skull cavern. I've got a spicy eel and coffee for buffs, plenty of bombs, and a bunch of random food we've gathered for health. So what all do we need here? Well, first and most obviously, iridium. Mostly for the boat materials. There's 3 hats we can find in skull cavern chests. 2 are a 1.8% chance, and 1 is a 3.6% chance. So, really rare. Carbon ghosts have a 100% drop for Omni Geodes, mummies can drop cloth for tailoring, and both mummies and Pepper Rexes have slayer goals that give us hats. Needless to say, we'll be here a lot. To start, it is incredibly slow going. Maybe it's because I have no explosive ammo, maybe it's just the neutral daily luck, maybe it's the obsidian edge being our best weapon. Whatever it is though, doesn't feel good. About halfway through the day though, we get a good couple of hull drops, so it wasn't all lost, and they kept on coming. In the end, I reached floor 67, which is way better than I expected. Already, I have enough iridium for 5 bars, so consider that goal accomplished. Summer 11th is the luau. Before it starts, I kinda just piddle around the farm cutting down trees. Our tapper produced a pine tar. It goes into the white chest. There's 3 items currently waiting to be tailored. Entering the spa area after completing the membership starts the wizard quest. Unfortunately, we won't be able to complete it until we unlock the sewers though. And then it's off to the luau. I head to it as late as I can as usual. There's no hats here, but the main function of gaining friendship is good enough for us to come. I slap in a gold quality sturgeon, which gets us the best result. That's a free half heart of friendship for every single villager. Checking the weather the next morning announces a thunderstorm, thank goodness. Gus visits us, giving us the mini jukebox. I never really get to make use of it in videos. Maybe someday. I take a moment to go through our crafting list and get some easy items out of the way. While there's 3 achievements for crafting, 1 for 15, 1 for 30, and 1 for completion, crafting all items isn't realistic, mostly due to the recipes unlocked from special orders, which we won't unlock until fall. So eventually we're just gonna shoot for 30 items crafted. I found another prehistoric tibia. This time I can donate it. And I have 4 more items from geodes to donate on top of that. We've now donated 49 items total for those keeping track, 11 away from what we need to unlock the sewers. Bought another rare seed. Why a second one? Well, not only do we want the one for the star drop, I don't need the star drop by the way, it'll just be nice to have, but I need one for tailoring as well. Next upgrade from Robin, I get her working on the big barn. I do need to get all the way to deluxe for sheep. The next day is our thunderstorm. Unfortunately, we don't get the batteries today, so we have another day of waiting. Today very much feels like a liminal day. I take a help wanted quest for slaying red slimes, and I do it. And while I'm running down to turn it in, it's so easy. It's so easy. Yeah, the garbage hat. Another one of the random chance hats, a 1 in 500 chance. Definitely uncommon, but I think a lot of people tend to upsell how rare it is. I went to the boat room to go ahead and donate the items we already have. I also thought I'd show off the hat chest. Later on, I plan on upgrading it to a wardrobe which can hold an infinite amount of hats. At this point, I really just need something to pass the time, so I start the casino quest. Rainbow shell into the train crate, and it's too late to turn in the beats. It's battery day. Bad news though. Past me thought I needed 100 hardwood. It's 200. I always get that wrong. Just a few more days of hardwood farming then. I put the beets into Lewis's fridge to continue the casino quest, and finally, a solar essence into the desert skeleton. We've got a lot of time to kill now, so I take a second attempt at the crimson fish, this time with a trout soup buff. And that's what we needed apparently. And we get the Ol Mariner achievement for catching 24 unique fish. Next on the chopping block are skeletons. We make a lot of progress again, but are cut off by nighttime. That night I got level 7 foraging, giving us tree fertilizer. That'll help with the hardwood issue. I go ahead and slather it on some mahogany trees. I check our Slayer goals, only 13 skeletons to go, which I can easily finish off that same day. And there's our skeleton mask. The next day of hardwood grinding puts us at 198, which is too painful for words. I make today a gifting run day. Tuesdays are pretty good for it thanks to the Gathering for Aerobics class at the general store, during which we get the Clicks achievement for having 4 people at 5 hearts. Immediately the next day we get the last of the hardwood we need, completing the boat repairs. Tomorrow, we're going to Ginger Island. In the meantime, I fill in some of the fish we haven't caught yet, like the ghost fish, stonefish, and ice pip. Not grabbing the lava eel yet, that'll be a lot easier on Ginger Island. And overnight they repair the boat. I also got level 2 farming. Yes, I'm aware of how much I've been ignoring it. We'll work on it later. Today is going to be a busy day. I hand out some gifts before we leave. It'll be a lot more complicated going back and forth from Ginger Island from this point on. I also finally get our pickaxe upgrading. The volcano would be a pain with just copper. And we head on out. My goal as always on the first day of Ginger Island is to get 31 golden walnuts, enough to unlock the farmhouse. We grab 3 walnuts from the forest, a whole gaggle of nuts from the north, I actually remembered to bring my slingshot for once. And I grabbed the 2 from the volcano where you follow the lava river to the left. Almost forgot the one at the bottom through the hidden path. We pay the 10 walnuts to access Ginger Island West, leaving us with 5. We need to find 15 more to get the farmhouse. I didn't foresee this, but not having the pickaxe hampers us pretty bad here, being unable to check under any of the muscle rocks and the walnut buried under a boulder. Say hello to tiger slimes. Defeating them all gives us a walnut, but they also have the 1 in 1,000 chance to drop the tiger hat. I'm pretty sure this is the only hat I have never obtained in absolutely any playthrough. That'll be a big one to try and get this time. We end our day with 23 walnuts, enough to get the farmhouse, and 34 total. I got a couple of journal scraps too, which are the Ginger Island version of the secret notes. I'm looking for 2 specific ones that'll let us get 2 rare items that we can use for getting hats, as well as gold walnuts, of course. I spend the extra time we have catching some of the island fish. Thus ends the first day on the island. I start the next day doing yet more fishing, since there's 5 walnuts for us to fish up. I got 2 of them. And then I head on back to Pelican Town to continue our progress there. There's not too much we can get done on Ginger Island now until we get our pickaxe back. With our upgraded house, I can finally turn all of those cheap fish we've been saving into sashimi for a nice injection of money. I sell everything to Pierre so that I can immediately go and get our deluxe barn started. The next fish for us to catch are the 2 from the desert, the sandfish and the scorpion carp. I just barely managed to catch the scorpion carp without any buffs. Very happy with that. I still haven't caught any of the crab pot fish, so I set up a few on our farm. And it's Friday, so I give out another round of gifts at the saloon. I threw a couple of things we just didn't need into the shipping box, which unexpectedly got us the 3rd money achievement, Homesteader, for hitting 250,000 gold. That leaves 2 achievements left, one for 1 million and another for 10 million. We got a pretty simple help wanted quest for a sweet pea, we knocked that out. That gets us the Gopher achievement for completing 10 help wanted quests. And we got our steel pickaxe. So now I head back into the mines with the intention of getting more iron and copper for sprinklers. Yes, just the regular ones. As we near into the second half of the run, crops are going to become pretty important for making money. With the fruits of our labor, we set up a pretty janky setup in the greenhouse, but it works. We've gotten Emily to 8 hearts, so now we can give her the bouquet. It might seem like we're a little behind on this, but once we get married, we can give her a gift every single day, so we'll be just fine. Back to Ginger Island, it's time to take on the volcano. You may be wondering, what can we get here? I'm glad you asked. First, we do need to get through to unlock the forge, of course. Here we can upgrade our tools and weapons, get a free prismatic shard, and have an easier spot to fish for lava eels. There's a ton of walnuts to be gained here from enemies, rocks, crates, you name it, and there are 2 hats to find. The first is the aforementioned tiger hat from Tiger Slimes. The second is the deluxe pirate hat, which is a 1 in 8 chance from rare chests. A pretty good chance, but those chests are rare, it's in the name. The last big thing are taro tubers. In total, we're going to need 90 of them to trade for 3 hats. We'll also need 50 cinder shards to trade for a hat, but that'll happen naturally. The dwarf on floor 5 is the one that sells that hat, but we don't have the dwarvish translation guide yet, so we'll have to get that at some point. We did find a rare chest on the last floor, but it gave us a phoenix ring, which prevents getting knocked out once. Pretty lame. We do make it to the forge. I grab the 2 golden walnuts, the prismatic shard, and just barely catch a lava eel before passing out for the night. I didn't mention this before, but we also do need a lava eel for tailoring, which sounds a bit cruel, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Day 50, halfway there. Pay no mind to the current hat count. I remember to check the journal scraps we got from the volcano. I got one that gives us a golden walnut, but unfortunately not one of the extra items that we needed. I also remembered that we can literally just fish in this pond for a hat, during which I also get a golden walnut. It took quite a while to get the hat, but finally, got it. Oh my goodness. I grabbed the walnut that was under the boulder we couldn't get to last time, and that's it for Ginger Island for now. Back on the farm, I put a ginger, cinder shard, and lava eel into the white chest. I've gotten all the freshwater fish from crab pots, so I rotate them into the ocean. Summer's ending soon, so I do a little ocean fishing to get some of the summer fish we're still missing, like the super cucumber. The deluxe barn is finished being built the next day, now we need to buy sheep for it. Unfortunately, it is Tuesday, and Marnie is closed. We do have that prismatic shard from the forge, and there's really only one way to use it. We've been struggling with the obsidian edge up to now, and the galaxy sword is going to make a huge difference. Now for some river fishing. I still needed to catch a pike. Completed another help wanted quest, Leah wanted a Joja cola, and then I went to the mines to try and find the dwarf scrolls we're missing, and finished the bug slayer goal. Doesn't get us anything important, but it's neat, I suppose. I did get one of the dwarf scrolls I'm missing, leaving just one left. I donate the dwarf scroll, which is our 58th item donated. The sewers are super close now. Marnie's open, allowing us to grab our first sheep. It'll be a couple of days before it matures, but once it does, That'll finally be a consistent source of cloth. I also need to set up a silo so that we can feed the sheep. Maybe a little late, but hey. Yeah, I'm leaving that one in. Now I'm checking the fish log for anything else we need to catch. Quite a few summer fish can also be caught at Ginger Island, but not the Dorado. It's an often missed fish, being the only one that can only be caught in the Forest River, so it's good that we get it out of the way now. Next up is the wood skip, exclusive to the Secret Woods, and that is all of the fish in summer, excluding the octopus, which I can grab at any point at Ginger Island. Thursday's our major gifting day of the week, and then it's back to the island. We have enough walnuts to unlock the dig site, giving us access to yet more golden walnuts, and the best artifact spot spawn location on the island. We grab the 4 walnuts hidden here. But I didn't bring a bomb to let the old dude out, so we'll have to come back. I did, however, bring a wheat and melon seed, both of which we need for the big Bombo Frog quest. And then I make another run at the volcano. There's still plenty of walnuts to be found here, and with our galaxy sword, we should have an easier time of it. Immediately, I found a dragon tooth on the first floor. While I don't need it for any warp totems or anything, we do need it for a hat. I found another Squire's helmet from a hothead, and honestly, I didn't even know they could drop it. I found 3 more golden walnuts that run before passing out. I crafted a bomb with the resources we got from the volcano to release Professor Snail, and now we can donate the 2 legs we found. Then I answer the quiz questions from memory. And last time I said that, I was joking about it. I looked it up, but I am locked in this time. Cutting some fiber on the farm, you know why, I found a journal scrap, and this one gives us a hidden location that both has a golden walnut and a pearl, which is in fact one of the tailorable hat items. There are a couple of other ways we could have gotten a pearl, but this one is by far the most convenient. So now we're sitting at 16 walnuts. We still need 4 more before we can unlock Ginger Island East. Not much else for us to do for the time being, so we head back. Lucky us, we did find 2 items to donate from the bone nodes at the dig site. That makes 60 items donated. Tomorrow morning, we'll get the rusty key. Sam wants a sweet pea for a quest, so I give him a picture of myself. Now tell me what's wrong with this scene. I'm planting all of the taro roots we've gathered so far. It's the 26th. They're all going to die. I finish our day grinding some Dougies, yet another Slayer goal that will yield a hat. The next day I wake up to getting the rusty key, which surprisingly unlocks a lot for us. First though, we cut a bunch of grass on the farm to fill up our newly built silo. Heading into the sewer, we talk to Krobus, unlocking the mutant bug lair, and fish for the mutant carp, our second legendary fish. It's not nearly as hard as the crimson fish, so we yoink it. In the mutant bug lair, we fish up a slime jack and grab the dark talisman, allowing us to enter the witch's swamp. I fish up a void mayonnaise, give it to the henchman, then fish up a void salmon, both for the fishing list and for tailoring. Then we can grab the magic ink and finish the wizard's quest. Although that's not really important for us, we're not going to be buying any of the obelisks this run. They're way out of our pay grade. The white chest is looking pretty nice. It's the final day of summer. I check the traveling cart and finally we have a dresser. That will be our new storage for hats. Speaking of, I have a lot of money from selling the legendary fish and whatnot, so I'm gonna buy a few more hats. I grabbed the cool cap, the tiara, the tropiclip, the trucker hat, the sou'wester, the official cap, the watermelon band, the blue bonnet, and the polka bow. 9 more hats. I have no idea how I'm gonna do the little card animation when I edit this. I decided to wear the tiara, a really underrated hat. After all of that, I need somewhere to store all of my hats. Lucky me, I just bought this dresser. Now back to what we were doing last night, working on the Dougie Slayer goal, which I managed to finish at 5 PM, netting us the hard hat. Finally, we finish off a good progress-filled day with the Moonlight Jelly Festival. Nothing we need to get here. You're just a monster if you skip it. Fall has fallen, and it can't get up. Our sheep is fully grown, so now we can get wool. We still need a loom though, which is locked behind level 7 farming. We're level 2. I clear off all of the dead taro roots, and I start building a fish pond for the caviar we'll need. The first grind of the season goes towards finding the last dwarf scroll we need. It's most commonly dropped from enemies on the frozen floors. Unfortunately, I didn't get it before passing out. I did get level 3 farming though. The crop that's going to be fueling most of our level ups is coffee. They grow frequently and are surprisingly not too bad in terms of experience gain. We unlocked the special orders board today. Now, here's the issue. We're over halfway through the challenge and we only recently got the Gopher achievement. The only type of progress that the special orders offer us is help wanted quest completions and crafting recipes, both of which I'm thinking we're not going to complete anyway, so we could better use our time elsewhere. Today's gift for Emily has her reach 10 hearts, unlocking the best friends achievement for getting our first full friendship villager. We can also get the mermaid pendant next time it rains. Checking the crab pots today, we got cockles, which were the last crab pot fish we were missing. In honor of that progress, I go ahead and catch the angler to boot. Then it's back to the island where I head into the volcano in search of more walnuts and hats. I found 2 walnuts before I had to leave so I don't pass out. That leaves just 2 more before I can unlock Ginger Island East. I choose to plant any terror tubers we get from now on the island, so they guaranteed won't die. I found 1 walnut from mussel nodes and another from the skeletal frog, allowing us to open up Ginger Island East. If you didn't know, you can close down the resort. I always do this because I hate the unpredictability of people just leaving to go to the island. As usual, we grab the easy walnuts available to us now, as well as the stingray, the last island fish we were missing. Nut check, I have 63 of the 100 I need to get into the walnut room. I finish off the day once again searching for the dwarf scroll 2, and finally I get it. That'll give us access to the 2 dwarf shops, one of which directly sells a hat to us. And I expand our greenhouse with a few more sprinklers. Our fish pond is ready and I slap the sturgeon in there. We only need 1 row, so we don't need to tend to it too much, we'll just eventually get it. Popping open some treasure troves at Clint's, I get another dwarf gadget. This time we can turn it into a hat. And we do have 2 items to donate to the museum, including the scroll for the Dwarvish translation guide. I go ahead and grab the weathered floor recipe from the dwarf for the crafting count, and I don't realize it at the moment, but I will want that miner's treat, since it can be tailored into a hat. To fill our greenhouse, I grab cranberries. While they're not the absolute best crop, I won't have to rebuy them and they'll easily proc the monoculture achievement for shipping 300 of the same crop. I spend some time catching the fall fish and I knock all of them out pretty quickly. There's not too many of them. All of the fish we have left now are either exclusive to winter, at Ginger Island, or the Legend. I was planning on going to the Skull Cavern today, there's still a ton we need to do there, but we got absolutely abysmal luck. At Robin's, I buy a bunch of the cheaper crafting recipes to pad out our list, as well as some of the cooking recipes from Gus's. I haven't discussed cooking goals yet. It's very similar to crafting. The best achievement we can get is just for cooking 25 recipes. The third achievement is for cooking them all, and there's no way we'll do that. We'll get working on those later on. I once again head to the island. I have to keep coming back for watering my crops here. I should probably get that automated. Back to the volcano, I get another 2 golden walnuts on the first 5 floors, and now that I have the Dwarvish translation guide, I can just outright buy the pink bow for 10,000 gold. That's the first hat of fall. I also grabbed the ginger ale recipe. It's easy to make and actually useful. On the way out, I find another golden walnut and the last journal scrap that we need, a golden walnut and an ostrich egg, another item needed for tailoring. I also hit level 4 farming that night. We're zooming on it. One thing I need to start focusing on is gathering as many coconuts as I can from Ginger Island. The golden coconut has a 1 in 20 chance to give us a hat when we break it open, so the more we get, the better. Also, I can trade 10 regular coconuts for 1 golden coconut once we get the island trader open. It's the last day of the week, and I kinda slacked on giving gifts, so I make sure to give a bunch of them out of the way today. Checking the white chest again, we have 13 items waiting on cloth. Youch. Well, I have some money to spend, so I go ahead and grab the hat from the recently unlocked achievement, the mouse ears. Once again, checking luck for a Skull Cavern run, and it's decent today. I'm pretty much here for the same things I needed before. Omni Geodes, Iridium, this time just for selling the bars, and hats from the treasure rooms. I got a prismatic shard on floor 11. I can probably use that for enchanting a tool or something. I did get a prehistoric floor on 23, which is nice. Even with this, I really don't think there's any chance that we'll complete the Pepper Rex Slayer goal. 50 is a wild amount, and these floors usually only give like 7. At the very least, they do drop dinosaur eggs, which I need to donate and tailor. First chance for one of the treasure room hats. Ugh. Have you ever seen someone so disappointed in an auto petter? Another prismatic shard on floor 68. We tap out on floor 79, which is our new best. All things considered, it was a pretty lucky dive, just not lucky in the ways we need it to be. I do place the auto petter in the barn. It's nice. Sheep specifically produce more wool when at high friendship, so it's actually pretty useful. Start of the week, I'm hitting everyone with gifts again. You may notice that I say that a lot. I think gifting for friendship is probably the one task that took the most time in this run. That's part of the downside of this not being a routed out run, I suppose. On the last rainy day I forgot, so I'm grabbing the mermaid pendant today. In 3 days' time, we'll be married to Emily. She was actually the first character I ever married on my first playthrough, and I'm happy to give her some love she deserves on screen. It's our first rainy day on the island, so I brought one flute block and try out the strategy to get the mermaid walnuts with just that one. And it works. I also brought a sprinkler so that I don't have to keep watering the melon. With those walnuts, I can finally unlock the island trader. This is surprisingly important as this is where we can trade 30 taro tubers for 3 different hats. We can also trade off excess bone fragments for more tubers. And then I find our first gem bird in the forest. 1/4 of the puzzle done. The next day is another rainy day on the island, solving another 1/4 of the bird puzzle. Back on the farm, our first sweet gem berry has grown. I still don't have any cloth, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this one for the star drop. I don't need to collect all of the star drops, by the way. That's one of those non-in-game achievements. At the desert, I dug up a golden mask. I already have one donated, so this one I can use to tailor. 3 guesses as to what it makes. I got one more cloth from my recycling machine, so we gotta choose which item we're tailoring. We decided that with the wedding coming up, there's only one correct option. The pearl giving us the bridal veil. I went to the island to harvest our first batch of taro tubers, netting us a walnut. Not enough for a hat yet though. I'm gonna go ahead and pop 2 damage upgrades on our galaxy sword just to make things a little easier for us, and then it's another volcano trip. I found another rare chest and I got the dragon tooth club. It's a good weapon, just not really better than my forged sword. This is the first volcano visit that pretty much yielded nothing. Not really surprising, we've gotten most of the walnuts here, and the 2 hats are pretty rare, but still kind of disappointing. The pirates are in the cove, so I quickly knock out the 3 darts minigames for 3 easy nuts. The 11th of fall is the day we get married. I also unexpectedly got the monoculture achievement. I didn't know it, but apparently coffee counts. From now on, we'll be able to give Emily a gift every day, helping us work towards the hat we get at 14 hearts. We also got a mushroom tree. Now normally this isn't that big of a deal, but there's one hat that is a 1% drop from cutting down a mushroom tree. A huge long shot, but we will have a chance. I'm gonna leave it alone for now so it can spread as much as possible. I popped open our first golden coconut, getting a golden walnut. Nut check, we're now at 85 walnuts. We do have the free 10 walnuts coming soon from the gourmand frog. It's just a case of scrounging up 5 more elsewhere. Speaking of, just walking around, I found our second snake vertebrae, which gives us 3 more walnuts. Now we just need to get 2 more. I do only have the skull left for the bear skeleton, but that's completely up to luck from golden coconuts. I reached level 5 farming today, and I genuinely considered rancher for a second, because if we then took shepherd at level 10, we'd get double the wool from our sheep, but I don't think that's necessary. In fact, it'll be much more efficient just to buy another sheep, just in case. So I have a plan in play for the rest of our relationships we need. Currently, we have 20 characters at least at 2 hearts. So if we just focus on them, we should hit the 20 people at 5 hearts. We also have 8 people already at 5 hearts, so we'll push them up to 10. Even though we're in the last third of the run here and a lot of these villagers are only halfway to 10, we have access to a lot more loved items now, so we should be able to make it. And I'm giving you this rundown because from now on, I feel like it's getting a bit redundant to mention every time I'm giving out gifts because it's almost every day at this point. I'll just mention it if we hit any milestones. I've got a bunch of geodes to open, which results in 2 more items to donate. Things are definitely slowing down here too. I'm going to continue working towards the museum. It might be a stretch, but completing it is possible for sure. So we have to do it eventually. I'm preparing for cooking, mostly just by getting a bunch of random crops and a healthy stack of all the cooking items. Like I said, I only need to cook 25 recipes, so I don't need to be too precise. This is how our fridge looks. Pretty good, huh? Let's kick it off with bread. And from the monoculture achievement, we go ahead and grab the cowgal hat from the hat mouse. Overnight, we somehow got the networking achievement. That's for reaching 5 hearts with 10 people. Not sure how we got the friendship overnight, but sure. I head down and grab the hat for it right away, the Santa hat. We have enough money at this point to do this anytime we get an achievement from now on. On Ginger Island, our melon has finished growing, so we have the gourmand frog check both it and the wheat for a total of 10 more walnuts. We're so close to opening the walnut room, I want to check the volcano to see if we can find enough to open it today. If we do, we'll get an extra check on the key quests because they roll around again tomorrow. We did end up getting what we needed from the volcano. I turn in the bat skeleton for a walnut and we get on in there. Thus begins phase 3 of our run. We don't need to worry about basic progression anymore, we can just focus on things that give us hats. Lucky us, for our first set of key quests we have Key's Crop. This is one of the missions we need to get a hat. We won't be completing this mission since you normally get an entire month for it and we only have 2 weeks, but I do need to grow 1 key fruit to tailor it. I grab our first key bean and plant it that same night. The next morning we have a gaggle of taro roots ready to harvest, and it's Monday, so a new set of key quests are available. Now I don't need a ton of key gems total, so I'm gonna play it safe with Let's Play a Game. It basically takes no in-game time at all to complete. Those terra roots we harvested give us enough to buy the first of the 3 hats from the island trader, the small cap. Caviar is ready back on the farm, and I finally went back to the dwarf shop to grab the miner's treat. So that's 2 more items for tailoring. Popping open another golden coconut, seeds. And wasting no time, we're going right to grinding out a score of 50,000 on Junimo Kart. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I hate this game. Every time there's like a community event involving Junimo Kart, I think, I'll give it a try, and then after like 10 minutes of practicing, I realize how miserable I am. Doesn't help that we're on the 1.5 version of the minigame where the whale level is still awful. All things considered though, I knocked this out pretty quick. Probably just lucky, but I'll take it. That's 10 key gems for us. I also got level 6 farming, just 1 more until I unlock the loom. I cooked cranberry sauce the next morning. I've been able to do it for a while, but I just now noticed that it's one of the items I need for tailoring. I'm buying some starfruit seeds. Now that we have quality sprinklers unlocked, I'm looking to set up the Ginger Island farm soon. The Stardew Fair is today, and for a second I was worried because I didn't really prepare for it. But as it turns out, a lot of the items we've been saving for tailoring are actually pretty good items for the Grange display. We get first place, and I get the rest of the points from the slingshot game and a little gambling. Good for the soul. I grabbed the star drop here, that's a given, but there's also a hat, the fedora, for 500 coins. Milady. The next morning, we hit 12.5 hearts with Emily, netting us yet another star drop. I set up the farm on the island, but I don't have nearly enough seeds to fill up the space, but something is better than nothing. Then it's back to the volcano. So to be clear now, we have absolutely no reason to get any more golden walnuts. So from now on when we come here, we're trying to find taro tubers, slay tiger slimes, and find rare chests. We don't get anything crazy this trip, but taro tubers are so common that we'll always find them. The key fruit has grown, so we pluck it. We have a little bit of an issue here. If the keys crop mission ends, which is in 2 weeks, this fruit will disappear from our inventory, so we need to make sure that we tailor it before that happens. So we have 10 key gems. Let's take a quick tally of everything we need from the key shop. First, straight up, there is Mr. Key's hat. Second, this is the only place we can grab a mushroom tree seed, which we do need to tailor. And 3, we need magic bait for the legend. Other things like the key to the town or Pierre's stock list would be nice, but we don't need them. The first thing I spend gems on is the magic bait. 20 bait should be enough, so I spend the 5 gems left over to buy Mr. Key's hat. So apparently, Emily has a chance to just give you cloth when you're married. The actual goat. I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to immediately use that on the key fruit. We are now forced to wear this until we find another hat. To prepare to catch the legend, I want to cook seafoam pudding. This also has the benefit of being another cooked item for the achievements. All we're missing is the squid ink, so I go to the mines to get it from Squid Kid. There it is, the best fishing buff money can buy. I chug it down and get to work. Unintended consequence of using the magic bait here, I accidentally caught a fish that's normally exclusive to winter. We take those. Unfortunately, I didn't hook the legend until after my fishing buff ran out. I don't want to waste the magic bait though, so I go for it anyway. And I get by far the easiest legend pattern I've ever seen. It's genuinely wild. I've never been able to catch it without a fishing buff. With that, we're on track to catch all of the fish. The next day I'm back at it again in the volcano, gotta try our luck. Here's an Omni Geode node, and I mention that because these are so rare that when I made my mining guide, I just straight up couldn't find it after several hours even with cheats. And now that that happened, I feel like I find it all the time in my normal playthroughs. While I'm here, I grab a few bombs for a future Skull Cavern run. No luck this time once again. So I made a mistake. End of the day, I was just knocking out these tiger slimes like I usually do, but I forgot I was at like no health from the volcano. I got knocked out and lost 9 items. This was nerfed in 1.6. It's not possible to lose this much anymore. Youch. Well, next day I grab all of the Omni Geodes we've been saving because we finally gathered enough to trade 50 for the green turban. So yeah, this is day 77 and I just now reached 50 Omni Geodes. We're not getting the 2 hats for trading 333 of them. I'm donating a few more items to the museum here, and I want to mention that we're missing so many minerals. This is a side effect of having to save all those Omni Geodes. We're so behind that we might not be able to catch up. I'm using the item recovery service. More than anything, I want the mega bombs I bought back. They're surprisingly cheap at only 350 for the stack, so it's an easy choice. I am in the mines. Why am I here? For one reason and one reason only, cutting fiber. From now on, when I have an extra hour or so at the end of the night with nothing else to really do, I default to this. I want that living hat. It's like the hat to get in a challenge like this. It'll honestly be a little embarrassing if I don't. The next morning I have a huge crop harvest, so on a whim I check my farming level and sure enough, it's 7. That's our level to unlock the loom. It's Monday, so we check the key quests and So now that we've gotten Key's crop, there's only one specific mission I need left. Actually, it's one of 2. Either Danger in the Deep or Skull Cavern Invasion, both of which give us the chance to gather radioactive ore. I mentioned it at the very beginning of the video, but radioactive bars are one of the items I can tailor into a hat. Unfortunately, it's gonna be up to luck at this point. I'll take Let's Play a game again. I don't like it, but again, it doesn't take any in-game time. And this time I have a much rougher time of it, is what I thought. I actually measured out the time it took from starting the minigame to reaching 50,000 points, and it was only 18 minutes. And I promise you, it felt like an eternity. Level 7 farming, finally we have looms. I waste no time on crafting 5 up and putting them to work. Meanwhile, I'll head to the Skull Cavern for some more attempts at the hats there. Is what I thought. 2 hours later, I'm still on floor 1, so I'm out. Instead, I do a round of giving gifts. I said I wasn't going to mention it anymore, but this is more of a walk of shame than anything. To add on to the L's, I made a show of crafting as many things as I can to get the achievements for it, and after a while I started to wonder why I haven't gotten any of the achievements yet. That'd be because we already had both of them back at the beginning of summer. The trucker hat was the award for it. I got 15 cloth from all the looming we did yesterday, and it's time to blow our hats all at once. We get the spotted headscarf, the beanie, the floppy beanie, goggles, forager's hat, sunglasses, swashbuckler, the fishing hat, dwarf helm, warrior helm, red party hat, dinosaur hat, golden mask, white turban, and the propeller hat. Feels good. With all of those choices, we eventually landed on wearing the dinosaur hat. I harvest some more taro roots, reaching the amount we need for yet another hat, the bluebird mask. I take another attempt at the volcano, and I did get a prismatic shard, but no hats. In fact, I get knocked out again. I'm just not thriving here, man. I still have my prismatic shard though, so I enchant my hoe hoping for the generous enchantment to help us get more omni geodes, but I get efficient. I have another 10 gems to spend, so I grab the mushroom tree seed and save the rest. Not sure what I'll use it on for now. I've got more wool to put in looms now. We still have 5 more items that need to be tailored even after that huge haul yesterday. I'm heading back to the Skull Cavern, this time with much better luck. I get a decent run down to floor 36 before I leave from running out of food, with nothing really notable happening. I'm thinking luck might be a better buff than speed for us in the future, so I cook a bunch of ginger ales for future runs. Leaving our house the next morning, we get stopped by Emily. This is her initializing her 14 heart cutscene. I need to bring her 200 pieces of fiber, which I easily have from all the checking for the living hat. We don't actually get the hat from her yet, we have to wait a couple of days, so it's good that we started this early. I've got 5 more cloth, which means 5 more hats. We got the flat topped hat, the logo cap, the fashion hat, the totem mask, and the star helmet. The star helmet is easily my favorite, so we roll with it for a while. I've got a bit more money to throw around, so I buy 35 starfruit seeds to fill out the island farm a bit more. You know what it is. Following our trend of getting lucky in the wrong ways, I've found absolute piles of dragon teeth. There's 2 just sitting there. I've never seen that. No luck other than that, unfortunately. We're on a time limit today thanks to the Spirits Eve festival, but I don't want to waste our good luck. I'm gonna squeeze in a cheeky Skull Cavern dive. Theoretically, as far as treasure rooms go, it doesn't matter if we get very deep, since there's an even chance for a treasure room no matter where you are. I got 1 on floor 44. Yeah. Off to the Spirits Eve festival. This is a very important festival because there's 2 hats we get here. First, we buy a jack-o'-lantern. I wasn't paying attention because I got so used to having a lot extra, but I cut it super close with money. 1 gold left is crazy. Then we get the golden pumpkin from the maze. Both of these items get tailored into hats. Finally hit level 10 combat. I've become rather defense build lately, so I'll take defender. It's the final day of fall. This means a couple of things. First, we have to cut down the mushroom trees. In winter, they'll turn into a stump, at which point they can't drop the mushroom cap. 3 trees leads to about a 3% chance to get the hat. Nothing. That's fine, I didn't really expect it. One thing I could have done to help our chances is go for the mushroom tree seeds earlier from the key shop and plant them, but it would have been such a long shot even then. We do have 2 hats to make from the items we got last night, the pumpkin mask and the witch's hat. Gotta wear the witch hat, of course, pay homage to the OG. So, it's a good luck day. I'm heading into the casino. There is one hat here sold for 8,000 key coins. I'm no fool though. I know our luck. I'm posting up with some daily dose of internet, both for my entertainment and chat's. But once I did that, of course it didn't take long. I didn't even get to finish one episode of Daily Dose. Well, I got quite a bit more than I needed, so I grabbed the top hat, 40 farm warp totems, enough for the rest of the run, and then I fill up on hardwood fences to sell for money. Pretty solid way to end out our fall. Tossing a cave carrot into our fridge the next morning lets us cook the survival burger, giving us the cook achievement for cooking 10 different recipes. 15 more to go for the next achievement. So, long-term winter goals. I gotta catch the rest of the fish on our log, finish out the rest of the people we need friendship for the last row achievements there, and I really want to hit 1 million gold earned. I haven't had too much trouble making that much in 1 year before, but I've never had a challenge that stretched me out this thin. Money just hasn't been a priority for most of the run. So here's what that relationship log is looking like. Just 3 people maxed, with 5 more close behind. And we only have 3 more people that we need to get to 5 hearts. I grabbed the magnifying glass. There's 3 specific notes I really want to get. There's the 2 that give us the weird dolls, and 1 that gives us a treasure chest, an incredibly rare item that can be turned into a hat. First things first, let's get that glacier fish. If I could catch the legend without buffs, this one shouldn't be an issue. While I'm down here, I grab the delicate bow for the cook achievement. And next we catch a squid and sell everything I caught that can't be used for fishing. And with the squid, I make fried calamari. Giving gifts the next day, I finally get the popular achievement for having 20 characters at 5 hearts. That's a huge weight off my shoulders. Only having to give gifts to like 5 people now is going to be so much more convenient. So I've been waiting until we just had a ton of money to do this. As Robin walks by, we grab our second house upgrade. This is solely for the achievement, nothing else. I head to Ginger Island for the first time in a while because our first large batch of starfruit is ready. One thing that hasn't changed in the new season is volcano attempts. I get another try at the rare chest, and it's an ostrich egg. Other people would kill for this, but not me. On our quest to hit 1 million gold, we're absolutely loading up on starfruit seeds. I have 38 Omni Geodes, and I'm gonna pop all of them open to see how much we still have left for the museum. Then we'll decide then and there if it's worth focusing on. From all of that, we can donate 4 new items. Looking at the gaps here, I don't think it's worth it. I go back to Ginger Island and expand our starfruit field, and it turns out I still didn't buy nearly enough. I'm always bad at estimating crop space. It's a little late in the week, but I checked the key quests. And I don't want either of these. I'll take the Prismatic Stones quest, I guess, since there's a chance I could just happen to complete it. The next day, it was finally time to bite the bullet. I gotta catch an octopus. I don't know why it's always a mental challenge to go for it. Something about usually needing fish buffs for a fish that really isn't worth it. Alas, we got it. I popped open 4 more golden coconuts trying to get the hat, and nothing. With the rest of our day, I'm heading to the Skull Cavern with double luck buffs. Even though it's late in the day, like I said before, we don't need to go deep, we just need to go often. There's another reason for us to be here now too. Secret notes tend to spawn here a lot more often than anywhere else. Something about the huge amount of rocks you break, I think. So I'm aiming for those now too. I got out of there a little early, nothing too substantial, but we did knock out a lot of the secret notes. I came back early because we need to enter our house at a specific time to complete Emily's 14 heart cutscene. Not only do we get Emily's magic hat, we get the whole fit. And last minute, I'm throwing down a bunch of crab pots in the ocean for lobsters and crabs, both I need for cooking recipes. Got another achievement, living large, for our second house upgrade. It always kind of bothered me that the achievement says you need the largest house upgrade when it doesn't require the cellar upgrade or any of the individual room additions. Seems like it'd be a simple line of text to change. Grabbing myself a cow, milk will be important for cooking. Then I head down and grab the earmuffs from the living large achievement. Oddly fitting hat right now. Not stopping the progress, I get a coop built. Eggs will also be important for cooking. I really should have done all this months ago, but oh well. It's a perfect luck day, can't squander that. Back to the caverns. Got another prismatic shard, and that's it. But we had a somewhat decent run for half a day, so I can't complain. Do you want to know how desperate I am for the 1 million gold achievement? I am buying resources just so I can sell them right back. It counts, it's just gold earned, not profit. My total earnings are at 600,000 by the way, so it's gonna be pretty tight. This next idea came courtesy of chat. I'm unable to buy any seeds because I don't have Pierre's stock list, but I can plant mixed seeds on Ginger Island for a random assortment of them. For cooking, of course. One of the cooked items I want to make is the baked fish, so I bust out the magic bait for, of all things, a sunfish. I also get a perch in the process, which is the absolute last fish I need before the night market rolls around. You may notice that at this point in the run, large amounts of time go by without me mentioning anything I did. I'm playing a lot of Inventory Management Simulator, figuring out what I have, what I need, and what I can sell to make some bits of money. Otherwise, I'm probably cutting fiber or something. I do that a lot. I've got a couple more geodes to pop open, surprisingly leading to 3 more donated items. I might have written off the museum too soon. It's everyone's favorite holiday, the Festival of Ice. I don't mean that. I am here because you do get a hat for winning though. Shawnee do hat get. Our coop finished getting built, so I set it up with a heater so I don't forget. It is back to the Skull Cavern. I think of any place we can spend our time, this has to have the most opportunities for hats, so it's the priority in these last few days. I get another Prizzy early on. I was kind of joking about completing that key quest, but we might actually do it. I got the journal scrap for reaching floor 100, so if we get there, we will get some snilk. We didn't. Another thing you'll catch me doing almost every single day is checking the saloon, because there is one item causing me so much distress: the fish taco. I have this thing set in the common category of hats. I thought I would have naturally found it by the traveling cart or the saloon by this point, but no. Why not cook it yourself, you ask? Because it needs a red cabbage. I didn't check year 1 completable on my file because I didn't think I'd need to, because I'm not taking the community center route. Turns out, that was a mistake. So yeah, fish taco rant over. Finally got the lobster though. Our cows are grown, so we get our first injection of milk. I don't like the way I said that. Which allows us to get a bunch of new cooking recipes made. Speaking of, now that Marnie's open, I'm going to load up on chickens so that I can get the egg recipes done as well. Checking the key quests again, the same quests we had before. I guess I'll play Junimo card again. If you believe that there's no such thing as unique experiences, I had to grind for a yam from Dougie's today to make glazed yams. Worth it. I then set up our crab pots in fresh water for snails so that I can make escargot. Got them on the first day of harvests. Abigail has been the last character I needed to earn hearts with for a few days now, and I'm really cutting it close because there's only 2 more gifts that I can give her in this entire run. Because of that, I've been making sure to talk to her every day to absolutely maximize hearts. Good thing I did, because the final friendship achievement is finally done. 10 hearts with 8 people. As much as I want to go grab that hat now, it's a good luck day, so it's back to the Skull Caverns. And I get another prismatic shard. That's the last one we need for Key's prismatic range. I'm grabbing a bunch of secret notes, but I still haven't gotten any of the ones I need. These 3 in the middle are the important ones. Wouldn't it be wild if they were the last ones we got? Another Prizzy. I didn't even notice this one when I got it. I don't care. And we're out. Floor 97, not a bad run by any means, just a bizarre run of luck showing its head once again. Checking the traveling cart for anything we may need, I grab a cauliflower for the cheesy cauliflower recipe. And we swing by the Hat Mouse to grab the hat for the beloved farmer achievement. The goat, cat ears. It's about time we check the island for our star fruit, and sure enough, there's a bunch grown. As well as the very last terror root we need for the final hat from the island trader. And we turn in those prismatic shards. Yeah, I really don't need them for much else. That gives us a massive 40 key gems. I use them to buy the key to the town and a ton of magic bait for any fish we might need for cooking recipes. Then we head to the island trader to grab the deluxe cowboy hat. I gotta say, I think the terror root grind was one of my favorite weird tasks of this run. I've always loved terror roots since they're essentially free money because they don't need to be watered, and I like seeing them have an extra use here. One last trip to the volcano. If I don't get the hats now, I won't be getting them. No such luck. Just a regular chest on floor 9. My chickens are grown, giving us 4 eggs to work with, so I make pancakes, an omelet, a fried egg, and farmer's lunch. I was kind of expecting to get the achievement there, so I count out how many we have. 23, 24, we need 1 more. Nearly perfect luck today, gotta do something with that. Before we do though, boom. Cooking is done. Skull Cavern. Treasure room number 1. I don't have many secret notes to find left, and every single one I grab is more and more likely to be the one we need. And it never is. I'm not even mad at this point. I know I'm gonna collect them all, it's just silly. Treasure room number 2. Got another secret note. There's 3 left. 2 of them I need. What do you even expect at this point? You wanna know what's worse? Each time we find the wrong note, they get rarer. The only saving grace is that the next note physically cannot be another L. Treasure room number 3. Remember the fish taco rant? Yeah, Red cabbages need 9 days to grow and I only have 3 left. Oh hey, a secret note. I wonder if it's the one we need. Whoa, crazy, so lucky. Our dive ends at 1:20 a.m. on floor 88. This specific run showcases this challenge so well. In theory, I got so lucky. I found 3 treasure rooms, all of the secret notes, and a red cabbage seed. But with each bit of luck, a finger on the monkey's paw curls. None of the items I need are in the chests. The secret notes I need are last, and I get the red cabbage seed just too late to use it. Man. It's not all bad though. I go and grab the treasure chest from the secret note and I tailor immediately, giving me the pirate hat. For getting the sous chef achievement, I can buy the plum chapeau, and I'm down, but I'm not out. I grab all the jades I've gathered this run and swap them for staircases for another run at the caverns. I can't pretend that this run is nearly as interesting as yesterday's. Just kidding, I got a hat from a chest, but does that look familiar? It should, because this is the only hat in the entire game that has 2 different methods of being obtained. We got it ages ago when we tailored the sweet gem berry. Another treasure room, seed maker. Another treasure room, bombs. I got the monster slayer goal for mummies, which, you know what? I had written that off as unrealistic to reach, so I'm actually really happy about that. Wait, I didn't notice it live. Right before I blow up that mummy, I got a lucky ring. On the 3rd to last day of the challenge. I did reach floor 100, got me some snilk, and ending on floor 120, that is the last Skull Cavern run of the challenge. I don't think my heart could take another one. The 2nd to last day is incredibly important. It's our last chance to push for 1 million gold by shipping overnight, and the night market opens up, which we need to go to catch the last of our fish. I set up a silly amount of furnaces to get through all the iridium ore we got last night, and the rest of the day is a day of last chances. Knocking out some tiger slimes for the tiger hat? Nope. One last chance for radioactive ore? Nope. One last chance for a hat from the golden coconuts? Nope. I donate everything we have left to the museum, still a ways off from being completed. I do go grab the arcane hat for the mummy slayer goal. Then we head down to the night market. Now we're not just here for the fish, we can straight up buy the cone hat for 5,000 gold. It is cheaper on day 2 of the night market, but I have money to blow. Now we can head to the bottom of the ocean and catch the last 3 fish with no problem, earning the Master Angler achievement, the most prestigious one in this run. And I head straight on down to grab the eye patch for that achievement. Last task of the day, it's the purge. I'm going to sell absolutely every single item that I won't need tomorrow. Basically, all I'm saving are geodes, ore, and a few items for tailoring. No thinking about it, it just goes in. It is so stressful doing this. I know that I only have 1 day left, but the voice in the back of my mind keeps saying, what if you need that seaweed? I head off to bed with a heavy heart. $212,000. It's the very last day and our total earnings have reached $956,000. I've still got a few tricks up my sleeve, but they're cruel. I saved the ore so that I can continue smelting them into bars to sell at Clint's. The animals gotta go. All 4 chickens, the 3 sheep, and 2 cows. That pushes us up to about 980,000. I checked the mail and I forgot I was gonna get a star drop from Willie. I have 1 more hat to tailor, the blobfish mask. I hate that we might be ending the run with this hat, but there it is. We sell our bars to Clint, 987,000. I have just 1 last thing for money. The final field of starfruit. I'm not able to ship them, I have to sell them directly to Pierre. Before we leave, I trade the last 20 coconuts we have for golden coconuts, giving us 2 last chances. But Clint isn't there. Of all days, today is his clinic visit. That's fine, that's alright, I have a plan. In the meantime, we can sell the starfruit to Pierre, and there it is. This hat feels like a triumph. I had to give up everything I have for it, and it was probably worth it. There's only one proper way to spend extra time on our last day, and that's cutting fiber. At 1 a.m. though, I put my plan into action. Clint just barely gets into his house at the end of the day, and thanks to our key to the town, we can sneak in. Clint works kind of similarly to the Robin trick. If he's in his house at all, we can get him to work. Where's this been this whole time? So yeah, No coconut helmet. Day's not over yet though, we still have 1 hour left. One last Hail Mary cutting fiber. And during the very last second, we didn't get it. Wouldn't it have been crazy though? The final tally of hats is exactly 70. And I didn't make up the goal of like wanting 70 hats after the fact, by the way. If you go back and watch the full VODs on Twitch, I mention it several times throughout the run. That's what I want to hit, so I guess I'm happy. Here is one last look at the hat list, just so you can see where we didn't get things and where we did. A lot of achievements that would have been really hard to get, and the RNG drops are looking absolutely dastardly. I would be very interested to see how far this type of run could be pushed. Hats are inherently so interesting to me because they basically force you to interact with almost every part of the game, making for a very wild challenge run. Well, hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. And good night.